Okay, so now that we have WordPress installed, we're going to get to work on setting it up. So one thing that I'm going to be doing, one kind of change of plan, is that I just installed another version of WordPress on the Slam Academy site. So I'm actually going to be working on slamacademy.com/webworkshop. I'm going to work on this one for a while because it's kind of confusing, but because I transferred my domain name, it still hasn't happened. I did that 3 days ago, and the transfer actually still hasn't happened. And I just talked to tech support, and they said 7 days. So while the transfer is happening, I kind of can't do anything. I kind of have to just wait for that to finish, or else I'm just going to load myself up with problems. So in order to continue making this video, I'm going to build it here off the Slam Academy site, and then move it over to my website once it's all done. So everything will be the same, except instead of janthonyallen.com, you're going to see slamacademy.com. Slam Academy is a little company that I own. We teach electronic music classes, and super fun. It's awesome. Here's my info that I just created. So everything is the same. slamacademy.com web workshop is what I created, and slamacademy.com web workshop /WP admin is my admin interface. So let's open both of these. I'm going to open them in new tabs. If you don't do this tab thing, get used to using tabs because it's going to be great. Once you start, making a change and then having to go to the page and check it out and making another change, having multiple tabs like this that you can just go back and forth between really fast is really beneficial, actually. So get used to doing that. So here's what my website looks like right now. So I'm on it, slamacademy.com/webworkshop. And this is what it looks like. This is probably what yours looks like, or something similar. It says Hello World. Hello World is the standard computer lingo for it works. That's how we say it works. We say Hello World. Like whenever you write a program, the first thing you get it to output or say or do is the phrase Hello World. It's like saying I'm alive. So we're going to get rid of that later. So don't worry about it. So let's look at my format here. So this is the default. I have a heading here. I have a description here. I have some recent posts, and that's the Hello World post that we're seeing over here. I have recent comments. I have archives, older stuff. I have categories. I have this weird philosophical thing called meta. And I have this proudly powered by WordPress thing down here. So we're pretty much going to get rid of all of this. One thing you can't see very well is I actually have a menu up here. There's really nothing in it except for sample page. So when I mouse over sample page, it turns green. But if I created a menu, I could create it all along this top bar. So we're going to create a menu. We're going to get rid of all this stuff. And we're actually going to knock out pretty much everything here and install our own stuff, our own format very shortly. Your website is going to look nothing like this one. This is just kind of the default template. Okay, so let's log in to WordPress. So I'm at slamacademy.com/webworkshop/WP-admin. Now when you go to that, it's going to automatically change probably to this long crazy URL. Doesn't matter. So just go to WP-admin, and that's going to get you this window. And you're going to log in with the credentials that you created. I'm going to say remember me so that I can skip some steps. And click login. Okay, so here we are in the dashboard. This is our home base for adding stuff. The most important stuff here is all of these things on the left side. These are your main settings and where we're going to put in all our content. So we're going to poke around this and go through each of these shortly, but for now, I just want to get some general setup stuff done. So let's do some just kind of general overview things that we need to do. So I'm going to go down to settings here, at the bottom, and I'm going to hit General. So site title, now this is stuff that you may have set up in the previous step when we hit that advanced option. So if this is good, if you've set these up already in that previous step when we were installing WordPress, you don't need to change them, but if you want to change it, you can change it here. So site title, I'm going to change to me. Tagline, now let's go to our other tab here. So I'm going to go over to my live website and see how that's being displayed on the site. So this is where my site title is being displayed, and this is where my tagline is being displayed. Now we're going to change this completely, but that's the general concept. So I'm going to change this to the music of J. Anthony Allen, because I make music. Website address, okay, that's the address of our website. You can change this, but don't. Please don't change this, because I don't exactly know how this is affecting the site, but you're going to break stuff if you change this. So leave these as they are. Email address. What do you want to be your contact email address? I'm going to say j.allen.com. Okay, membership. Anyone can register. You probably want to leave this off. You don't want people to be able to register and log in to your website. This would let them create a login for themselves. Typically on artist websites, we don't want that. New user default role doesn't matter because we're not going to let people create their users. Time zone. Set the time zone for wherever you are. These are all in this, UTC plus or minus thing. But if you scroll all the way down, all the way up, you'll get city names. So I'm going to go to... I'm in Minneapolis, which I don't think is in here, but so I'm going to find the nearest city that's in my same time zone, which is Chicago is almost always in these. Oh, I don't think I'm looking at the US. Is there a separate Africa, America? They must have a separate, oh, Detroit. Okay, so Chicago, there it is. Okay, so I'm not in Chicago, but Chicago's the same time zone as me, so I'm just going to select Chicago. It's not going to display Chicago anywhere, it's just going to display the time. Okay, date format, how you want the date to show up when it shows up. It might never show up, depending on how we set up our website, but when we do have the date, how do you want it to show up? You can do custom, however you want. I like that the best, so I'm going to go with that. Time format. You can do any of these. I'm going to select that. And the week starts on Monday or Sunday, depending on how you want to do things. I think I'm supposed to do Sunday for... I think that's how we do it here, but I actually like Monday better. Again, I don't think this is going to matter because I'm not really going to put a calendar or anything on my site. But if you want to have a calendar, we'll talk about calendars soon. I will warn you against and strongly advise you against putting a calendar on your website, but that comes later. So let's just save those. Even if you don't think you're going to need to display the date, the time, the week, any of that stuff, always good to just make sure all those settings are correct just to be safe. I'm going to capitalize that letter because you never know. Okay, now back over to settings. Let's just see what else is here. There's a couple other things I want. So I'm going to click on this writing. A couple things here. Formatting, convert emoticons to graphics. I guess, sure. I never am going to use emoticons on my website, but the rest of this stuff doesn't really matter. Post via email. This is some fancier stuff that we don't really need to get into. We're not going to be using that. Let's go to reading under our settings. Okay. This one is important, this front page displays. What this is saying is, I'm going to go back over to my tab that shows my current website. What this is saying is, when I go to the main website, this is called the index, the main website, the page that loads after Web Workshop, when you go to like the home page. This is what is the home page. What does the home page show? Does it show a list of your most recent stuff? Does it show a specific page, or does it show something else? So that's what we're setting here. Front page, same thing as home page. By default, it's set to your latest post, so the most recent stuff you've done. For me, I don't actually like that. I want it to show a static page. A static page is just a page I made that doesn't change. It doesn't update based on my most recent activity or anything like that. However, I can't quite do this yet because it wants me to select a page and I haven't created any pages yet. So I'm going to leave this as your latest post, but I'm going to come back to it later. This is where we change that though. So just file that away in your head, that this is where we set the home page. It'll be important, but we need to create some pages first. Blog pages, these don't really matter because I'm not going to do those. Okay, let's go to this discussion tab under settings. Oh, I didn't save that. Oh, I didn't need to. Okay, discussion is important. The settings we need to change here relate most importantly to comments. Now, do we want people to be able to leave a comment on things we write? So if you're making a page devoted to your most recent or your a series of paintings that you've made, let's say, do you want people to be able to just, have a little box at the bottom and type in and say, yeah, good job, I like it, and leave comments? This is very, it's popular on websites to leave comments sometimes. This is where you can control some of that. If you are making an artist portfolio style website or a musician portfolio website where you're showcasing your music or your art or anything, I would strongly suggest turning the comments off, which is what I'm going to do now. The reason is the internet can be mean. I think we all know what I'm talking about here. So for these specific kinds of websites where we're showcasing our work, we really don't want people to be able to come in and just type like, you suck, and like whatever. It would be nice if they came in and said, you're awesome, I love this stuff. But let's maybe, in my personal opinion, you're welcome to leave this on, but in my opinion, I'm going to leave that kind of feedback to Facebook, maybe even Twitter. I'm not going to let that happen on my website. So I'm going to turn that stuff off. You're welcome to leave it on. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So default article settings. Attempt to notify any blogs linked from the article. That's fine. Allow link notifications from other blogs. That's fine. Allow people to post comments on new articles. We're going to uncheck that guy. Other comment settings. Comment author must fill out name and email. Well, we're not going to let people post comments, so let's leave that one checked so that if for some bizarre reason someone is able to post a comment, we get their name and email just for fun. Users must be registered and log in to comment. I'm actually going to check that because we're not letting people comment. We're also not letting people register for our site. So if we say, in order to leave a comment, you must be registered for the site, we've got like a double whammy, you can't do this. And the reason I'm doing the double whammy thing is because there are these automated systems that will go into websites, try to find any possible way to leave comments, and then they'll just spit comment after comment after comment for advertisements for stuff on your site. So we want to be like doubly, triply sure that those systems can't get in through any weird loophole. So I'm going to leave that checked so that you can't register, you can't leave a comment, but if you find a way to leave a comment, you got to be registered. So it kind of helps. Automatically close comments on articles after, let's just be sneaky here and say 0 days, and I'll turn that on. Actually, I'm going to leave that off. Never mind. Enable threaded nested comments. We'll turn that one off. Break comments. We'll leave that off. Okay. Email me whenever anyone posts a comment. Yes. Let's leave that on. And email me whenever a comment is held for moderation. What that means is that if any comment does get posted to our website, it's going to shoot me an email and say, hey, someone posted a comment. And I can say, what? And then I can go in and delete it. So we're going to make sure we have those checked. Before a comment appears, comment must be manually approved. yes. What that means is that it's going to send me this email and say, there's a comment waiting. We're not going to show it on your website until you approve it. So yet another layer of protection against these automated comment things. So the worst case scenario here is that you're going to get a bunch of emails saying someone's trying to leave a comment on your website. But it's not going to show up on your website until you say yes. Okay, the rest of this is fine. We're not going to use these avatars or this rating system. So let's hit save. Okay, and I'm just going to go over this one more time in case you missed it. So for default article settings, let's leave the first 2 on. For other comment settings, let's leave the first 2 on. Email me whenever, both those on, and before a comment appears, both those on. Everything else off. So those are my preferred settings. If you want to leave comments on, you're welcome to experiment with it, but that's how I like to deal with my websites. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Media, I don't think there's anything we need to do here. This is the thumbnail size of images that we upload, medium size and large size. Now, if you're saying I don't like those sizes, don't worry about changing this yet, because we're going to install something in just a minute that's going to change all of these. Once we get our formatting all figured out, we'll know better what the ideal sizes are for our images, and we can come back here and change them if we want to. So don't worry about those quite yet. Permalinks means like how is the link displayed to your stuff. What I like to do here is, let's see, I can do default. So the default here is going to be my website, which is all of this, / P equals, and then the article number, the number of the article, which is 123 in this example. So that's not great, because what that does is it doesn't show the title of the page in the link, which is not as good for search engines. So if you put the title in the page, search engines will be more likely to grab onto it. So I could do this, day and name, where it shows my website / the year, the month, the day, and then the name of the title. So the date, basically, and then the name. And that's a little overkill. So I'm not going to be updating my site every single day, so I don't really need that. But how about month and name? My website / year, month, and then the name of the post. That's the best, I think. You could also do just post name. The problem here, if you do just the name of the page that you're creating, the problem there is that if you have 2 pages called art, then one of them is going to show up as art 2 or something like that. So you can only have one. So I'm going to go with the month and name for me. I might actually, well, yeah, I'm going to go with the month and name. You might also like post name. Just using the post name, you just have to be careful about duplicate page names, making sure they're not the same. I could go either way, actually. I'm on the fence. But month and name sounds good for what I'm doing. Okay, let's hit Save Changes. Okay. So those are our general settings. That's all we really need to do just on the back end to make sure that we're all set up and everything's going to be working correct. Now, if we go back to our website, it's going to look the same. I'll take this opportunity to point out one thing. Every time we change something on our website, in the back end, in the dashboard, and we go back to our site, we're not going to see what we changed take effect until we refresh the page. So in my browser, this is the refresh button. So it's got to reload the page. So somewhere you've got a button that looks kind of like that, depending on what browser you're using. If you can't find it, you can always just click in the URL bar, the address bar, and just hit return to reload the page. So we just need to refresh the page so that the new changes get displayed. So none of the stuff that I just changed really changes anything. I get this stuff does actually. So now it's showing my name and the music of J. Anthony Allen. So that changed. Nothing else changes because it's all kind of behind the scenes stuff. Okay, so those are our basic settings. Let's move on to the next thing.